Hey, good afternoon. This is Abe at Mountain Time Farm. It's January 20th, 2025, and this is my first video about the farm. In this vid, I'm just going to tour around and just kind of say how I got here and what I'm up to and talk all about agroforestry and tree nursery. So keep watching. Thanks. So I run a tree nursery and I have a whole bunch of agroforestry rows out there in the back field. I'd like to say that I do Syntropic Agroforestry, but like with a lot of stuff, it's a work in progress. The tree nursery, I've been the largest bare root nursery in the state of Montana for the last 2 years. And I grow a whole bunch of stuff: fruit trees, nut trees, berry bushes, perennial herbs, native plants, biomass trees, a whole bunch of stuff. I really like it. I always wanted to have a food forest because I was a permaculture guy, and I got good at growing plants from seed and planting them out. And eventually someone's like, you should start a business because trees are expensive. And so I did. And it's really grown year by year. And it's great fun growing a lot of trees, selling them to people. It's great because they're excited, they're super stoked on it. And it's just really fun to talk to tree people all the time and sell them trees. This row here is all medlar, grown from seed. So I'm walking out through the nursery, heading out to the tree rows. I should say I'm here in Missoula, Montana, zone 5B, elevation 3,150 feet. And the overnight low last night was 0 degrees Fahrenheit. I got quite a few tree rows that I've been planting in the syntropic fashion, which if you've ever heard of syntropic agroforestry, you know, but if you don't, it's a very sort of advanced agroforestry practice in which you use the principles of natural succession or forest succession in your planting in order to get your trees to grow better and faster and more healthy. And it's really something. It really puts it all together in a way that gives a lot more clarity than what you've normally thought of through the lens of just a food forest or even standard agroforestry stuff like alley cropping, etc. So you plant a lot of trees very densely, and all the different stages of forest succession, the different life cycles of the plants, so that they can succeed one another in time as they grow and protect each other. The fast-growing younger species provide shelter and habitat and shade for the slower growing species that take a long time to establish, especially out in an open field like this. So anyway, I'm going to take a pause for a minute and then get back and talk about who inspired me, how I got here, like who's awesome, who's great sources of information to learn about all this stuff, because I'd like to give thanks, you know, because I learned from a lot of really great people standing on the shoulders of giants, so to speak. So I want to give them a shout out. But yeah, let's take a pause for a minute. I'll be right back. So let's see here, what to say. The best, I don't want to say the best, but I was really, really inspired by, in the early days of growing trees, there's a really great YouTube channel called Mike's Backyard Nursery. And I learned a ton of stuff from him about how to grow and propagate plants. And I would really recommend his channel if you're wanting to try to get into tree nursery stuff. Another one like that, another guy who's really great, is Akiva Silver, Twisted Tree Farm. And then everybody knows and loves Edible Acres. Learned a ton of stuff from him over the years. I've been watching his videos for a decade at least. Him and his wife and Juan, they're really good. Got really great stuff to say and teach. And then additionally, Stefan Skokowiak in Canada, the Permaculture Orchard. He's really got amazing sources of info. He's just a wealth of information about doing a holistically managed, diverse ecosystem that produces food in a very cold climate. It's coldest here, probably. Who else? I mean, Stephen Edholm, his channel is called Skill Cult. Learned a lot of stuff about apples and plant breeding from him. He's got a really cool channel. If you're into seedling grown apples and making new varieties, I would highly recommend him. And then also like Eliza Greenman, she's really great. A lot of great interviews and lectures of her talking about like orchard planning, integrating livestock with trees. There's a ton of great channels out there, but eventually, you sort of become an expert yourself and you want to learn more. You get sort of bored watching stuff you already know. And I guess with me, I was the kind of guy who would once or twice a week get on YouTube and sort by new and search for agroforestry and just watch every last video you could on agroforestry. And I had seen thumbnails for Syntropic Agroforestry with, palm fronds and bananas and stuff in the thumbnail, and titles about being in Brazil or Belize or wherever. And I just kind of always dismissed it because obviously I live in a very cold place. So one day, I don't know, a couple years back, 2 or 3, one afternoon, I was just like sick of seeing these syntropic farming thumbnails on YouTube. And I was like, what the hell is this even? And I started watching them, and it was very apparent very quickly that this is a very sophisticated and advanced way to approach agroforestry. And I'm just floored by the information that it presented in such a way that just tied it all together, made it all really make sense. I'll save you the details for another video, but it is really something. I think it's got to be just the best way to create a super diverse polyculture agro ecosystem. It's just truly amazing. So anyway, it's like, it's a little after 4 in the afternoon, sun's going down. It's cold. It was like 0 degrees Fahrenheit last night, but my goal for the channel is to make these videos on the regular, walking around in the afternoon over the seasons, showing what it's like in the hot and in the cold. I wanted to talk a lot about plant propagation and how to plant and manage tree rows out in a bunch of grass, and just cool stuff, zone pushing, getting stuff to grow in places where it doesn't really want to grow, but you can get it to grow. Not really sure where they are here, but I've got some persimmons growing. I got a bunch of persimmons from Oikos Tree Crops. I got persimmon seed, I should say, from Oikos, and grew out, a couple thousand of them, and out of that couple thousand, had some real winners that seem to have really been able to survive. Last winter, right over here somewhere, we had negative 20 below at least temperatures for a week, and then 2 other week-long phases where it was at least below 0. A lot of stuff died, but I actually have a couple persimmons here that didn't die back whatsoever, and I'm really excited about that. So eventually, here in a little bit, when the snow melts, I'll show them to you. What else to show? You know, I got a volcano. I got some chicken coops that I run up and down the row. I'll get into them in another video, but I just wanted to make an introduction. Again, my name's Abe. I operate mountaintimefarm.com. I sell a lot of trees and plants on the internet, and I'm super into agroforestry. So anyway, that's it for now. Stay tuned, and talk to you later. Thanks.